Am I live right now? I think so. Let me double check. Okay, I am on Rumble. Let me see on my YouTube channel. Oh, yes, I am live there. Okay. Ooh, interesting. Okay. Now let's check on Kick for a moment. Yep. Looks like it. All right. Okay then. All right then. So, we are live now. So, anyone that's out there willing to join, welcome back to my channel. So, we got quite a bit to talk about. We have a bit of concerns regarding YouTube with their new their new policies that they're going to enforce. So this just came up. Oh, hey Jordan, thank you for joining me. Wow. And we got Nathan. Hey there. So it looks like the fonts are now working, and we got the icons there now. Excellent. But they seem to be too large. I'll have to fix that. But at least it's working. Oh, we got 5 viewers. Hello all. Thank you for joining me. So, I'm Johnny the Whiz Kid. I'm live now after 8 months. 8 months. Yes, so we're going to talk about this. Oh, wait a minute. I think I get it. The live chat. Oh, wait, no. Hold on. The chat box? Oh, this is the chat box. Oh, okay. What's going on? Wait, that's not it. Oh. Okay, let me fix this. Hold on. There we go. Okay. So, this is the new font. It's pixelated now, and we got the icons of where you are talking from. Very good. Okay, it works. It's large. We can read it. It's all good now. Okay, we got Jordan. Welcome. We got Nathan. I've heard about this new policy, and it sounds awful. Yes. So, Jordan, I'm not liking this policy that YouTube's putting on. And we have... Oh, well, don't worry about Botrix here. It's just the bot from Botrix. It helps me link up with Kick so that I can stream there. So, I am now live in 5 platforms. YouTube, Rumble, Kick, and Twitch, and Twitter. So, everybody, anyone that's able to join in, welcome. So, I wonder what the font name is. Retro, I guess. I don't know. I'll be sure to share it when I find it. But, yeah, what do y'all think? So, I'm back. It's been too long. I know. I am sorry for not streaming. I'm not here to talk about that right now. We're going to talk about what's happening now with YouTube with this this new policy that they're trying to enforce. So, Jordan has brought that to my attention, and they're going to put up this policy where we're going to have to now verify our ID, our age, whatever, because they want to monitor people that are monitoring or just watching stuff on YouTube. Like now, YouTube has been doing all kinds of experiments many times throughout the years. We cannot forget the time that they put up SOPA, which is something regarding copyright infringement, and it didn't go through because of the many loud noises that we created. So this new thing about this ID verification is going to be done by AI. AI does not care about humans' reasoning or anything. You know, it's just a computer, and it does whatever it believes something is programmed to do. So, even though we can insist that, hey, we're not this age, whatever, it can still enforce their policy on us. I mean, that's what I've been learning. So, yeah, now I've watched a few videos. It is a concern. I don't know what this means for us or other people, but everybody is talking about it on YouTube. So we're going to talk about it too. And I'm going to talk about what's going on with my channels, my plans on streaming and whatnot. So, this AI overtake and it should be stopped. Right. You know, ever since I saw that movie, I, Robot, I understand Will Smith's problem with it. There's been other movies like AI, Artificial Intelligence. There's some beauty behind what it's capable of, and at the same time, it's scary and dangerous. So it all depends on who is programming it, who controls it. So it can be dangerous depending on the user. Like, we're all responsible with the things that we own or what we create. We all see the movies throughout the years. A robot, it can be unpredictable when, well, no, I mean, a robot is supposed to be programmed how you want it to be programmed. But when it acts up, then, yeah, that's an act of unpredictability. So, I'm not sure what to feel about this. I don't know if it's going to affect me, but I definitely don't like it how it affects other people. So, what we're going to do then is, we're going to learn a bit more on this. We're going to go jump up to YouTube so that we can learn about some of these other things. Let's see. I'm trying to learn how this works. I think I'm supposed to create a new scene here. Let's see. Display capture, that's what I want. Alright, bear with me here, okay? I'll just put this here. And I'm going to drag it down. Let's see. Okay. There we go, that covers that. Okay. There we go. Okay. I don't know why I have this thing. Get rid of this. Okay. Alright then. So, what do you think of my overlays? Pretty cool, huh? Okay. We're gonna go to YouTube. I have the desktop audio so that we can listen to these videos right here. So far, I've been watching like 2 or 3 videos. So, thumbnails read AI age verification is now here. Well, not until August 13th, which is next week, next Wednesday. There's still time. So, we're going to watch this particular video by Chibi Reviews. A lot of high-known YouTube content creators that talk about these things and whatnot. So we're going to listen to this. I'm going to mute my microphone, and then we're going to listen a bit on what this is about. So, YouTube will require government ID, and they censor you in the United States. So it's going to explain how this began and why it's happening. All right, so pay attention, class. We're going to learn.
YouTube is rolling out AI in the United States to detect if users are actually under 18. It ignores the stated age and applies restrictions to users it suspects are teens. Your Spotify account is getting deleted unless you do age verification. Then, Wikipedia is currently in a legal battle with the United Kingdom government to try and stop the platform from being censored in the UK or even completely blocked, thanks to the Online Safety Act.
So, I'm going to give you context in case you're new to this. Alright? First of all, were you able to hear the audio? I can't be here for long at some point. I have to go to bed soon for work tomorrow. Okay, I understand, Jordan, but let's at least get you to an understanding of how this is going on. All right. First, are you able to hear the YouTube video? So, what? Hang on a sec. Let me get this out of here so you can see me. There we go. Okay. So, the UK is under a lot of shit right now. It's got a big problem with migrants going on, but the government is just becoming incredibly retarded, basically. It's implementing a lot of unreasonable laws. Okay, good, you can hear it. Yes, the view audio is perfect. Good, good. So the UK is having a migrant problem with a lot of Muslims that are just breaking the laws and doing a lot of bad things, and the government is just turning a blind eye and ignoring it. And now they're doing more laws that are just going to make things worse for them. But the UK has had a problem with a lot of our policies since Trump took office, you know. Like, we're trying to save our country, restore free speech, and a lot of things that we had that, you know, was part of the United States. But, you know, most importantly, Elon bought Twitter so that it could restore free speech, okay? Good. So the whole world has a problem with Elon because they don't like that he now he gave Twitter back to the people to allow to say whatever, you know, because the UK and other countries, they want to control speech, you know. They always try to have a reason for doing so, but it's always like a controversial reason, and it just doesn't make sense, and it just only hurts people more than they believe that it helps them. But, you know, they just don't listen. So they're trying to make this reason about the Safety Child Act to protect children from anything bad online, you know. Now, when you're a parent and you have kids, you know, the kids are always going to find some things on the internet. So even if you ban a platform, there's other alternatives. Like I told Jordan, if YouTube somehow does this and then people cannot use YouTube freely like they used to, I told him that he can go to Rumble because it's more free speech friendly. And if YouTube is going to be a big problem that I cannot have a growing platform there, then I'm going to have to just move everything on videos and streaming to Rumble from now on. So it's going to be exclusive content, and, you know, anything I say, I won't get in trouble. So anyway, kids will always find something that they shouldn't on the internet, and they think that banning a platform will fix that. Sure, just one, but then there's others, you know, because the internet is so big, everybody will have a way to create things, and, you know, there's just no end to what you can find on the internet, and then kids will always look up stuff that, you know, they don't know. So in the end, really, it's the parents' responsibility on what they allow their kids to see on the internet. And if you are a responsible parent and you care about what your kids see, then personally, you should not let them on the computer at all, or even have a smartphone. So when you want them to watch some YouTube, then, you know, YouTube Kids is there for a reason. And yeah, you have to monitor your kids all the time. You know, life is not easy. And as the world grows bigger on the internet, it can get more scary. So yeah, it just makes it harder when you want to be watching your kids closely on what they're watching. You know, you got to be there, but when you're busy, then you have to rely on the internet. And that's why I really just don't think you should let them on the internet. You know, back then when we didn't have that, you know, there was always something else to do. And even if they're bored, you know, I always find ways to do things like play imagination and shit, you know, whatever, you know. So anyway, the UK is trying to do this because really, really want to try and protect the kids. But by doing that is going to make things harder for the adults. So let's continue listening so that we can get more context.
I want to remind everybody how this started. This started with a feminist activist group in Australia contacting payment processors like Visa and MasterCard to get Steam and itch.io to remove adult games. What started off as just, let's ban the porn and protect the kids, has now turned into straight up the entirety of the internet getting collectively censored back to back. And you can no longer say that this is just affecting, let's say, the United Kingdom. We have YouTube going into this, and they are now testing stuff with the United States. This alone showcases that this is not just one country, this is not just one niche little area, this is affecting massive sites around the entire internet, and now even YouTube is falling to the censorship storm that has been ongoing. I want to outline just this in particular, how bad this is. I mean, I want to cover all this, there's a lot to talk about here, but this one in particular is really bad for one reason alone.
Okay. So, let's stop right there for a moment. So, I don't think I need to bring up a bunch of feminists to people that have been following politics or the culture war. But for some that don't know this, well, I'll just try and make it brief. So, feminists are just a bunch of activists that try to be fake offended so that they can complain about what we like because they're jealous. I don't know. But they don't like it when we have a freedom to do what we want. So, I don't know. They just like to find something to be fake offended and then complain to a platform to try and stop them from enjoying things, and that's how cancel culture comes about. I won't get into that. But anyway, I didn't know that's how it began, because I remember hearing the news about Visa and MasterCard, those credit card companies that you use to buy stuff. Well, I don't know how, but they got involved to now try and pressure Steam to take off adult games or whatever that we want to buy on Steam so that we can, enjoy these games. A lot of game companies have been trying to play ethics to try and censor things that, parents deem too inappropriate, even though they don't play games. A majority of gamers are adults, but they allow blood and gore at games and stuff. It just doesn't make sense when you try to be one-sided on this thing and then not on the other, because if both are supposed to be for mature audience, why can't we have both? But no, you gotta remove this, but we can have this, but then, I mean, it's just getting ridiculous. So, that has been going on for a while with Sony and stuff, that's why a majority of gamers go to Steam to do these things, because they are okay with adult stuff and uncensored stuff, and we can, mess with it however we want. Okay, well now, recently I learned about Visa and MasterCard getting involved in trying to pressure Steam to take these things down so that they don't sell adult games, So, like, they're trying to play ethics now. And, wow. And now, when we're trying to, give them a lot of problems and complaints and criticisms, then MasterCard is acting in denial. Like, no, we're not taking down these games and stuff, But it's happening, If it's happening, if we see it happening on the site and then it means it's happening, but they're not seeing it, but we're showing it to them, and then they're not, so it is happening. Basically, in the end, it is happening. Okay, well, now I'm learning about the Safe Child Act. And at first, I thought it was only happening in the UK, because, the UK is getting worse every week, maybe even day. But now, it's coming into our country. And so we're going to now be binded with this stupid policy, the Safe Child Act. This is where everyone sounds the alarms. Yes, so this is where it's starting now. And, well, Jordan brought it to my attention, so now here we are. So, let's get back to the video.
Anytime YouTube ever implements a automated system with AI or whatever, it goes horribly wrong. Anyone that is not just a content creator, but someone that just browsers YouTube knows this. To messed up algorithms, to videos not showing up, to videos being instantly demonetized or removed, to just improper, like, copyright, notifications on videos or content ID, all sorts of things. When you have these automated systems, YouTube's automated systems usually just it's horrible. They are implemented in such a bad way that it effectively hurts thousands upon thousands of people. And the fact that YouTube is just suddenly rolling out this AI to be able to detect if users are actually under 18, this is going to lead to so many people theoretically having their accounts just removed, and even content creators at that. And let me give an explanation to this of why that's important, like why, this is going to happen. So basically, this AI is going to be able to look at your account and see what you watch, what you like, what you engage with. And let's just hypothetically say you're an individual that is like, 20 plus, 30 plus, whatever, and you actively engage with gaming content. You engage with maybe content that is for, just a wide spectrum of people to be able to play. Let's say this AI determines, this person only watches games, and games that are meant for, everyone, this person's probably a kid. What if it does that to a regular adult, even a big content creator, because it sees that you're only watching, let's say, Let's Plays or something, or it sees you're watching just live reactions to certain content? They might instantly detect and think that the account is, a kid under 18 instead of actually an adult doing that. So this algorithm is already flawed, because as it is even stated here, that it will ignore the stated age on the account, and it will apply restrictions to the account on what it deems or it thinks that the person using the account might be a teen or a lower, which is insane to think about, that there is going to be an AI controlling this, and this is going to be horrendous. What this is going to lead to, I'm just going to straight up say what this is going to lead to. It's going to lead to you having to put in your ID in the United States to be able to even use YouTube. For instance, if you want to watch regular content that isn't on, let's say, YouTube Kids, you're going to have to put in your ID. That's what this is. That's what's going to happen, because I want to tell you, the first thing that's going to happen is that you're going to have accounts that are going to be hit by this, that are actual adults, and it's obvious they're adults. Even content creators, massive content creators, probably with millions of subscribers, they're going to be hit by this, and then they're going to have to put in their ID to be able to actually continue using their account, to continue watching content or even making content. And the same can be said for the regular individual that doesn't even make content. To be able to watch just regular videos on the platform, they're going to have to put in their ID. And you can already see where this is going. It's everything that's been ongoing in the last week with all these IDs and stuff. And as I mentioned in last night's video with the T app, we saw personally with the T app and how it got data breached, hacked, and all these different IDs and chat logs and everything released. It's very clear that these sites aren't safe. There is going to be a lot of websites that might try to be safe, but there always is going to be vulnerabilities, and also there's going to be sites that are just legitimately lazy with their security. And so you're going to eventually have these sites that are being forced to have, like, age verification. They are going to lose your data. They're going to lose your ID, and it's going to spread online, and you're basically going to dox yourself.
Well, so the one thing that we gotta understand, the number one rule when you're on the internet, you never ever give your personal information out. The people that do that, a lot of things can happen. So someone could steal your data, your identification, and then you know how the rest goes. I will say this right now. This is really going to get YouTube in big trouble. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, look, YouTube is big, but even though the company is small, because the problem I have with YouTube is that, well, that platform is massive. The company is small. I hate it when they don't expand their personnel. So, like, if someone wants to contact YouTube and tell them about a problem, like if you've been flagged or you got a strike or something, and then you want to how do you say it, like you want to tell them this is what happened, it's not my fault, can you please undo that? There's no way to do that when their team is so small. So, like, the only way to contact them is to tag them on Twitter and then just wait who knows how many days for them to respond. And the only way you can really get their attention is if you have a lot of followers and they all tag them to get their attention. So I wish that they expand their office and get more people operating on their desks, taking phone calls to answer people's, complaints. But they don't want to do that. You know why? Because the more they hire, then the more money they make, and then those little people that work on YouTube, they don't make much money. So they believe that the algorithm, the computer, will do all the work for them, like it's easy work. But it has flaws, and you know, this will have the same problem with AI. I bet it will, and then they're going to eat their own words on this decision. So, like, I hate it when these companies do this, and there's no way to contact them, and it's so frustrating. You built your life on YouTube, and then something happens, and then you try to contact YouTube, and then, you know, by the time it's too late, you lose everything, and then your money's gone, your fan base is gone, you have to start over. I don't know. And then, yeah, it's hard to contact them. So now they're going to do this AI thing. No. Nobody wants that. Everybody's already making noise and telling YouTube, stop this. Don't do this. So, yeah. Don't ever give your ID out, your credit card info, unless you're really purchasing something. And YouTube should just never do this at all, you know. It's none of their business about who we are, and, you know, they can't, they should not monitor people's age or anything. It's up to the parents to monitor what their kids watch, you know.
Which is just insane to think about. So what's happening here is more or less a precursor to more things to come, because you can no longer say that this is just affecting the United Kingdom. You can no longer say that this is just affecting Europe. You can no longer say this is just affecting Australia. It's affecting countries that don't even have these laws, or even have these laws that are about to be approved. Yeah, there is a law in Congress right now, 2 laws, Screen Act and the Kids Online Safety Act, but they were just introduced. They haven't even been discussed yet in the Senate or House. And the fact that we already have YouTube going the nuclear option to do something like this showcases that what's been going on here is a collective push to just honestly kill the internet. Like, it really does feel like all of these organizations and these governments and stuff around the world have collectively got together and put the acceleration button to be able to censor everything they possibly can to quell people and make it to where people are not able to communicate as easily anymore. And if they do put in their ID, they'll know who these people are. These sites will know who they are, and then they'll be able to report them to the government, because obviously a lot of these sites, especially with these laws we've seen, these sites would be obligated to, you know, be audited. They would have to give their data over to certain governments or whatever to let them know what you're doing at any given time. So you're effectively getting spied on, and the big government, instead of having to use their own workers and all that, they'll request the data from, like, you know, these companies or these sites, and then they'll get the data and like, oh yeah, this individual right here, this is what they're doing, and then obviously they'll know what you're doing, or they might try to go after you, whatever. It's legit scary. We've already seen examples of this with UK. I mean, once again, they created an entire task force within 24 hours after the Online Safety Act came into reality. Once it became law, they created a task force that just to be able to monitor the internet and people in the UK and to arrest them if they even have a political opinion or post memes. Obviously, that is a major overreach. It's basically become a police state. They are monitoring people to arrest them for political opinions or memes, etc. That is just against what the government wants to hear. So yeah, I mean, now that we have YouTube doing this, it showcases an escalation even further than what we've seen already. We already know that the UK has been trying to get other companies and stuff within the United States or other countries to buckle for their Online Safety Act, but it's clear that YouTube has probably done this as well now. They have now buckled, which is just crazy, because I'm thinking to myself, even if we go into a perfect world and say that this is not going to mess up, okay, let's just go on a limb here, and obviously it's going to mess up, okay?
So yeah, like I said earlier, the UK is trying to police people's lives, and like I said, the UK is in a very, very big shithole right now. I think we got a new person here. Cheap viewers on... Oh, I don't know who that is. No, it's probably just another bot. Yeah, so now the UK is trying to get every country to come along for the whole regime to you know, to police people and what they see and stuff. And that's what I've been saying. So this whole... I mean, I know people don't like following politics, but there's a reason why. It's a reason why it's important. We have people that want to be in charge of our lives. So they don't really like when people have freedom and individuality. Those things matter to us as human beings when we try to live, and they just want to stop all that. I mean, this is all we can speculate on, but just their behaviors tells us what they're trying to do. I've been following a lot of these things for years now, since 2018, and it all started with the culture war, the movies, and then it goes much deeper, and it's all because of Donald Trump. So yeah, now this is all spreading like crazy, because now that Trump's back in office, now they're just scrambling like crazy to do anything they can to get what they want. So we can all believe that this won't happen, but we just don't know. These people are capable of anything. Like, I'm gonna just assume it won't go through. But just in case it does, then yeah, we all went through this before. After Trump was exited out of the White House in 2020, Parler was another platform that's like Twitter. They took it down. So I'm just saying, anything can happen just like that, and that's why we have alternatives.
Okay, I have no faith in this whatsoever. But let's go on a limb here and say that in a perfect world, this AI is not going to mess up. What's the point in YouTube Kids? Like, there is literally an entire segment, okay, on YouTube that is created called YouTube Kids. Why does that exist if they are implementing something like this? There's no point in it to exist at this point if you're implementing something like this. Now, with that being said, we got to talk about Spotify. I think I don't really need to explain just how crazy this one is, but Spotify is a music platform. It hosts music. It hosts pretty much almost anything under the sun, almost, like a lot of different music and variety and stuff. I mean, everybody collectively uses it. And I want to put this out there, that this is being affected thanks to the Online Safety Act from the UK. And Europe is soon to follow, being hit by this, and then even obviously Australia, and probably other countries too. And I want to put this out there, that this entire reason this is happening was because a bill was apparently passed to think of the children, to protect the kids. But now music sites like Spotify is getting hit. Like, excuse me? This was never about protecting kids. It's obvious. You can't say it was now because of the way this is presented. It's like, yeah, there is some explicit songs. I'm not going to act like there isn't some explicit songs, but it's like, it's music. It's just music. It's not showing anything. But apparently, music, too, needs to be censored. Music needs to be reined in and censored, and they need to know your ID just for you can listen to music? Like, you hear how crazy that is? Like, that's insane. Then we got the Wikipedia stuff, which is kind of...
Yeah, music too. I didn't know Spotify was in this too. Now, you've all listened to explicit songs. Like, I don't listen to rap, and I know they like to make a lot of sex topics on that, and just very disturbing lyrics, and just I stay away from that. So I don't really think about, you got to be older to listen to this song and stuff. Again, it's all in the matter of your parents monitoring what your kids are being exposed to. So whatever they're watching, listening, But I don't know, if probably listening is slightly less dangerous than watching something, it still doesn't matter. So in the end, like, if you think this is also going to protect kids, like, for what they listen to, it's still the same thing on what your parents allow their kids to see. That's just disappointing. They doing this to music? Yep. Yeah. So for an alternative to Spotify, I remember Napster. I try to get Napster to be embedded on my Twitch channel, but I can't figure it out. I don't think it's supported there. But yeah, Napster. Do you remember Napster? That was pretty an awesome service back in the 90s, and it still exists. I think you can still get service there. So I'm just throwing it out there. Like, if YouTube is is done for, and Spotify is done for. There's Rumble, and there's Napster. Those are all I can think of. But yeah, it's crazy that now music is now subjected to AI ID verification. So that's insane. All right, let's continue.
Kind of old news, and I briefly mentioned in passing, but I wanted to focus on this a little bit more in this video, because Wikipedia, yeah, it's not always accurate. There is people that can go in and fake information and change stuff. I understand that. However, there is obviously stuff on Wikipedia that is true and does explain things, certain things and elements of history. And the fact that the United Kingdom is trying to get Wikipedia to censor itself or just completely block it showcases that the government of UK is trying to block information, trying to block people from gathering information and learning things. That is crazy. Like, imagine trying to block your populace from wanting to educate themselves, to learn, to know what's going on. Even if Wikipedia isn't always accurate, it is still a big red flag that they're trying to get rid of a platform that is meant to just gather information, regardless if it's accurate or not.
Does that mean that even Wikipedia is being roped into this? But apparently they're fighting against the government that wants to censor stuff. Oh, it's Sammy. Hey there. How you doing? So this is me. This is my channel. So we're live talking about what's going on with YouTube. They're trying to invoke their new policies on AI ID verification, so as to monitor who is at a certain age, and then when they see that either you're an adult or not, then you're restricted to whatever you're allowed to watch. And that's a big problem to everybody that uses YouTube. So everyone's talking about it, everyone's making noise, and now it's just a matter of what's going to happen for the next week and a half until August 13th, if it's going to go through or not. So we just learned that YouTube and Spotify are roped into this. And now we just saw that Wikipedia is like in battle against the UK government. It's like I wonder, is UK now like going to censor information on Wikipedia on whatever we look up? Like, I don't always use it, but that's where we usually go to look up information. I look up game information, but for whatever important stuff, like, you know, this is like how a dictatorship goes when they don't want people to know stuff. You know, that's just not good. I can't stress it enough to know. I can't stress it enough to express how bad that sounds. Like, you want a book? Well, too bad. You can't get it. Why? Don't question them. Because they said so. Fuck those people. So that's insane. I mean, Wikipedia is around the world, but the UK is trying to get them to comply. Oh man, this is crazy. Whoops. Deleted myself there. Alright, we're gonna continue.
That is a straight up attack on free speech, an attack on people just trying to educate themselves about the world. Why would you want to keep your citizens dumb? Why would you want to keep your citizens from thinking or trying to go out of their way to learn things?
See, I can answer that, okay? Because for those that don't follow politics that I did, okay? You know, learning the behavior, their actions, and just reading a bunch of comments from people that actually study Marxism and communism, you know. For a long time, the deep state and the government that like to be in charge of people's lives, they've been doing a lot of stuff to us that really hinders our lifestyle. So, why they want to keep people dumb is so that way they can be, how can I explain this? So, they want to make people reliable on the government when they cannot do anything themselves. So when that happens, then the government has you on the leash, and what they usually do to people that rely on the government is take advantage of them financially, and then they give them this kind of product or whatever to they make you believe that this will help them, but then it doesn't, and so you go back to them, and then they give you something else, but it just does the same thing. Again, government tyranny is one that just lies to you, manipulates you, and then make you complicit, so you don't have a choice but to go to them. So when they make you dumb, it's easy to control you that way. So that's why they don't like it when people do their own research. They don't like it when people are independent and they take care of themselves. They probably don't make money that way. They also can't control you that way, you know? The government likes to be in charge of you. They like that power, they like that money, you know? I mean, it's been that way for many decades. We have Sammy here in Twitch chat. We have Turbo Shepherds. Hello there. You know, if you just subscribed to my channel or followed me, I wish I could see... Thanks. Thank you. Appreciate it. I wish I could see the alerts, because I just hired someone to help me program the alerts how I want them to. And I try to put them on the screen so it can flash up there, and it doesn't show. I don't know what's going on. So I messaged him to see if he can help me. Why can't I see my alerts? I copied the address correctly. It is how it's supposed to be, but it's just not showing it. So I don't know. And it's just frustrating. So I showed it to him, and just have to wait and see if he'll respond and help me. But yeah, if you like my content, if you like my channel, yeah, be sure to give me a follow if you're interested in watching more of my content. I'm a streamer. I play video games. I'm a retro gamer. We'll be talking about my content in the future soon, but right now we're going over what's going on with YouTube with their new policies coming about AI age verification. So you have to put in your age if you want to watch YouTube videos, and if you're under 18, you're restricted to certain stuff you're allowed to see. So basically, YouTube wants to police what you're viewing. And it's bad. Nobody likes to be told what to do. Nobody likes to be controlled. Nobody likes it when their free speech is taken away from them, you know. It's a fundamental value of humanity, you know. Every country should have freedom of speech and stuff, but not a lot of countries see it that way. They like power. They like to be in control and everything, you know. Oh! There we go. So it does work. Okay. Okay. Well then, I was testing it, but it wasn't showing it. I don't know what happened. Well, thank you so much for the follow. No, it doesn't show. That's okay. But yeah. Thank you so much for the follow. Dynasty Knight. Hey there. Okay, so the alert works. Thank you so much for joining. Welcome to my channel. We're just chatting. We're talking about YouTube's new policy that's a concern for us content creators and viewers. So we're just watching this video that explains what's going on, how it's going, how it's working, and then what this means for everybody. So we learned that YouTube and Spotify are doing this. Wikipedia is now in a big fit against the UK government. And we're just explaining about the importance of why this has to be addressed, why this should concern us, why we had to talk about it, why we had to keep making noise. We don't want this to happen. You know, we know y'all like looking on YouTube videos. You don't want them to tell you what to do. You don't want them to control what you're allowed to see and stuff, you know. So, yeah, that's basically what's going on right now. But we're going to keep watching more, okay? We're watching on Chibi Reviews on YouTube.
That's a red flag. So, to get into the main point here, you're about to see a lot of content creators get hit heavily by this. There's going to be a lot of regular people, and then content creators that's going to be hit by this, and you're going to have a lot of people going to be requested to use their ID. There needs to be massive pushback on this. I think everyone collectively needs to speak out about this and how unacceptable this is, because this is happening. I want to showcase this. This is happening literally in like a week from now. They've already mentioned it, but this is what's going to happen here. The certain things they're going to do. They're going to obviously request you to use your credit card or government ID, like they literally have it outlined here. So yeah, it's getting worse. This stuff is not going to stop here. You're going to have every site that's now going to start requesting your ID, even if you're in the United States. And then this is going to effectively lead to a bill to utilize this to collect this information for the government. That's what's going to happen. So yeah, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. However, I do want to mention one little thing that is some good news amongst all this. It's some happiness, despite all this dark stuff that obviously showcases we're witnessing the end of the internet. Visa card representative, they are yelling at people now. According to what is being said by a lot of people right now, Visa and MasterCard have been under a lot of calls and emails, thanks to the internet being very upset with them, and how this kind of all really started from them. And now the representatives are just straight up getting upset, yelling at people and all that for just asking they want to know about the content guidelines. It's very obvious Visa is feeling pressure, they're getting upset about this and all that, and I'm just going to be blunt with you. Good, continue, because it's unacceptable. I think that it is a right thing to do at this point, because it's like, Visa has manipulated the market like a cartel mafia. They need to be called out for this. People need to be aware of this. People need to know this. It's unacceptable, and there needs to be anti-law, like, you know, antitrust law applied to them. Like, they need to be split up. They are too massive of a monopoly that they need to be split up. And so I do hope that this is the spark for that. But with everything going on in the world, all this bad news back to back, it's just, I don't know if it's enough. Honestly, it's gone actually even beyond payment processors at this point. Like, it's very clear there is a collective push beyond payment processors, and now you have governments involved as well. We are witnessing a very scary era for the internet, and as I said, it's wild to me there's so many content creators that are still not talking about this when it is coming for everyone. Like, YouTube is a massive platform, and now it's affecting the United States, okay? This isn't just the UK. It's coming for everyone, it's spreading, it's getting worse, and yeah. I mean, we even have, like, search engines now in UK. They're permanently stuck on safe search. Like, you can't even get out of safe search on Bing or Google. So I think that says enough, too. So they're even restricting you searching things up on Google now. Yeah. Okay, I'll keep it at that, though. Wanted to keep this one short, but get to the point on everything that's evolved and changed. The YouTube one is a big one, but I'll leave it at that. I love you guys. Be safe. Stay healthy. Shibi out.
Ibukon, whatever, forgot your name. Thank you for the follow there. So, well, look at Sammy taking advantage of my emojis and stuff. Alright then. So, Jordan says, this madness must end. This madness. No, this is madness! Madness? This is YouTube! Yeah, this madness must end. Yeah, I grow tired of this AI ID thing. It needs to be removed, yeah. Well, this is the first time we are ever about to be exposed to something stupid, but, you know, I mean, Elon Musk, did he create AI? Or AI's probably been around before, I don't know, but like, we've only seen the movies, but Elon created AI, but I don't think he meant it to be like this, but I don't know. I mean, the idea of AI itself, I just like it when AI just creates art for me, but now, I mean, taking over jobs like this, but then getting out of hand on, like, on policing us and stuff, like, no. See, the movies that we watch, like iRobot, that is one thing that is the one that did warn me about in the future, okay? So Will Smith really, he was right to not trust AI at all. So, like, okay, have you guys seen iRobot? Have you seen AI? That kid from The Sixth Sense. So those are the only two movies I've seen that I was exposed to AI. Well, AI itself just by the title alone, but just generally it's a robot. So iRobot is more literal and direct. So like I definitely got a warning off of iRobot more than AI. So yeah, so shit. The UK is like a dangerous country now, and now they're trying to behave like I dare say they're going back to 1940s. if you know what I mean, like Nazi Germany. So like, it all started with neighbors ratting on neighbors and stuff, and then the government controls your life, and you're not allowed to do anything. So maybe they're not going in the violent way, but it started in the whole control segment. And yeah, so you guys had to keep pushing back. So how this started was with the visa. Well, again, before the visa, it was a stupid feminist. I fucking hate these feminists that just have to ruin everything they touch. You know, they hate what we created. I'm gonna say like oh hi Panda Lord. So these feminists that are just activists, like, they create so much problems for us. A bunch of mess that they had to cry and be fake offended over, I don't know what, but anything. Anything that they just being taught to hate. I don't know who taught them this stuff, but like politics going in, like, it's all like Marxist ideology. It's an ideology. And the feminists here, these activists that just continue to do these things because they really believe in it. So now they think they're trying to do humanity a service by calling up and pressuring Visa and MasterCard to pressure Steam to take down adult games because to protect kids from this type of stuff. But it's like when you try to ban a platform like TikTok, you know, it doesn't solve a problem because there's other platforms that kids can just go look up stuff. You can find disturbing things anywhere. I remember on MySpace, I see a bunch of users there. They put a lot of disturbing stuff on their profile. And yeah, it definitely affected me. But that was my own fault. So, Facebook's not the only... I mean, MySpace was not the only place you find a lot of disturbing things, you know? Google has everything you can look up. So, like, you want to take down TikTok, they can take down Facebook, they can take down Twitter if they want. They took down Parler before, after they stopped Trump from winning, you know? These people are capable of anything. With the right amount of money and power and influence and intimidation, it all depends on who blinks first. It's a game of chicken, you know? That's what it is. It's a power grab game. It's like Game of Thrones. So, if you want to win the culture war, then that's why you have to follow these things. And it's not fun. Politics is never a fun game. But it's part of our lives now. It's part of our entertainment now. So, like, this would not be a concern if they would have left Trump alone. But he was a threat to their agenda. So, of course, they had to take over the entertainment industry and push these messages on our movies and stuff, you know? We have... Oh, it's Sam K again. So you have... Okay, you have YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. Very good. I think I have emojis there, too. Sammy K. Okay, welcome, Sammy K. Do me a favor. Can you hit the follow button and see if the alert appears there, too? I'm curious to see if it works. And if it shows exactly how it's programmed. So yeah, this has been going on for 10 years since Trump challenged the system. They didn't like that. They like where they are. They like their power, money, and position, all that stuff. Harry Poppins Fedora. Hello. So you guys gotta understand. Even I've been there when I did not want to get involved in politics, okay? Until they started to mess with our favorite, you just did now? Okay, then it's not showing for some reason. Okay, then. Okay, I'm gonna try something. Let me see. I'll log in with Kick, I guess. I just need to get like a... Okay. I need to get an address here for a moment. Where is it? Okay. No, I don't want the Go Premium. Okay, let me try something first. Wait a minute, it should have already applied on Streamlabs, right? Okay, still, let me try this, though. Okay. Let me try kick alerts. Okay. Alright, so you already hit the follow. You can't do it again? If it doesn't show, then could you try doing a one-time subscriber? A one-time subscribe? Just want to see if it works. But anyway, I didn't want to get I didn't want to get involved, you know. I just wanted to mind my own business, let the stupid adults deal with all that ridiculous stuff. But then when they decide to come infiltrate in our entertainment, and then start doing all these bad things, now it's our concern. Now it's my concern. I just don't want this stuff to happen to other YouTube content creators, especially those who love doing VR chat content. Those I enjoy watching the most. Oh yeah, everybody should be concerned about this, you know? Everyone's that just wanted to live their lives. Well, now they have to be concerned about what the government is doing to us. And yeah, look, I mean, I guess learning throughout this time when I don't want to get involved. We have to now, because it's like in school. If you don't remember what you're taught, then you're going to repeat the same mistakes that you made before as a kid. You know, part of life's growing up. You learn lessons, and then you gotta develop more brain cells to be smarter and think ahead. So when you learn from history, then you know it benefits you. So you can anticipate some things. And then this goes the same way here, you know, this stuff about our values and our American life, you know, you have to know these things. You have to care. It's all part of our heritage. Americans are supposed to care for their country. Every citizen that lives in their own country should care about their country. And then when you have someone in charge that abuses their power, then it's your civic responsibility, if you care, to do something about it. I'm just saying, you know, it's part of your lives. Your lives will be affected by this. They're gonna mess up your lives if you don't say something, if you don't act up or whatever, you know. So that's why this has to be talked on, because now your life will be affected this way. People's YouTube's lives will be affected this way. Who knows what's going to happen? It's going to mess them up. It's going to ruin things. And it all comes down to, did you follow the culture war? Did you follow everything? Because I did. And I just know what they're doing. It's not for the sake of protecting kids. Because you have YouTube kids. But they should know that they have parents that have to monitor what they watch. And if they're not doing that, then they're the ones that failed. But, you know, at the same time, parents like to blame other things that whatever happens to their kids. Like at a water park, if they get hurt, if they drown, the mother sues the park for their own failures. They're just venting their sorrow on the park, you know. Maybe you should not have taken your kid to the park then. You should have been there then. I don't know. But it's not fair to them. It's not fair to us that you're doing this to us because you're trying to make this target on kids more than us, because adults use YouTube too. And if you watch gaming content that they think, you know, that's for kids. So if you're a kid, then you're not allowed to watch adult stuff. You know, I go back and forth. If I want to watch some video games that are for kids, that's my right, yes. But I also like to watch adult stuff. And then when we watch gaming stuff, what if there's cursing? Cursing is part of adult content, you know? They throw F words and stuff. are they gonna still think that's kids stuff? But then what they're gonna do then is take all that away then. So no, this should concern you. So yeah, breaking that down. So I already watched like a couple of videos explaining that stuff to me. So everybody is already making noise on this. So keep the pressure on. Visa, MasterCard, whatever. Now YouTube, tell them, don't do this. You better not. You better not. And we also have to be prepared for the worst, okay? YouTube is where everybody loves to go. But it's not the only place. Alternatives exist, okay? That includes Spotify. People have been jumping from YouTube now because they've been getting sick and tired of their policies that just inconvenience them. So, there's Rumble. Have you guys ever heard of Rumble? I'm live there too. So if you go to rumble.com, the platform is colored green, while YouTube has the red play button or record whatever. But Rumble is more free speech friendly. So, but it's also young because it's a competitor to YouTube, but it's just nowhere near as big, really. But it's always looking for more content creators there, especially gamers. And there are game contents there. And if I can't use YouTube anymore for all this stuff and I'm not getting any views because what they're doing to restrict their you know, limit their visibilities, you know, then yeah, I can't grow there. So I will take everything to Rumble. Even if it's small, you know, there's always a way I can grow there. Sammy here is helping me grow my channel. He just optimized my YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. Well, we're testing that out right now while I'm streaming, talking about this. And also Spotify. Do y'all remember Napster? Back in the 90s, Napster is where you can buy songs. That was pretty cool. They had their lawsuit problems, but now they're back and they still exist. You can still get service there if you want. Spotify like has everything, including podcasts, but Napster only has songs. But still, maybe Napster can grow. Who knows? I'm just throwing thoughts around, you know. So Napster exists in case you can't use Spotify anymore. And now Wikipedia, well, Google's full of other sources to look up information. So, anybody remember Napster? If not, you can check them out, but they have a history in the 90s. If you do remember Napster, share your experience with us here. Tell me what it was like. I remember this one joke when I was watching Futurama. There was this reference of Napster, and then there was a tape next to Nap. It was Kid Napster. It was funny. So I don't know who they kidnapped. I don't remember, but it was funny. But yeah, okay. So that's that. Just keep making noise and tell YouTube, no, don't do this. But I want to talk about my channel now. I haven't been live in 8 months now since my Christmas stream of playing hockey. That was fun. I put it off. I wanted to do more than just stream, and I wanted to make videos. I just made a video talking about Mortal Kombat 2, the trailer showing of Ball Jade. That was pretty good, but I don't know, guys. I mean, I think this is like a lot of work to do when I want to make videos, because what I do, I care about making a perfect video. When I made my Godzilla counter review, it took me 5 years. I had to research, I had to learn how to edit myself. I had to figure out what tools I'm looking for, and I don't know the name, and I can't find it. So I had to go to forums and ask about it, and I had to wait a day or another to describe what I'm trying to do, and then get some help. And yeah, it was like a freaking nightmare, and then during those 5 years, I've been putting it off and coming back to it here and there, you know, so I still have that problem now. I mean, I feel proud of myself for making that video all by myself, part 1 and part 2, and I got over 100 subscribers for that. They were pretty impressed with it, and I think the timing was good too, because that was the year Godzilla 2024? No, 2014. Yeah, it was 2014 came out. And yeah, people were talking about that movie and then the 98 Godzilla, because Godzilla 2014 was the first real Godzilla that they wanted, not the 98 Godzilla that's called Zilla. And I got quite a good amount of people talking about it. And I guess timing is also key. So when I was making that Mortal Kombat video, I was trying to catch on to whatever was trending. So, but there's a lot of stuff that's trending. It was not just Mortal Kombat. There's the Nintendo Switch 2 debacle. So I could talk about that. I already made the script. And then I'm just holding myself back just because I'm just tired now. I'm like, man, I don't feel like I'm having fun doing this now. Maybe I'm just better off just streaming. And maybe I'll feel like I'm having fun when I'm making videos reviewing games and movies. We'll see. But, you know, work is work and it's never fun. And I just feel like, you know, I'm just so tired. I don't like doing this. And that's when I feel like, you know, maybe just hire people to make your videos. And that's the only problem, though. You know, it just means spending more money. You know, I've already spent lots of money on these games. Everything I have behind me cost money. Everything is an investment all these years, since 2012. It's crazy. Maybe 2011. First, I bought game consoles, since I've been watching Angry Video Game Nerd and a bunch of other retro gamers. It started with the game consoles, then it was the Super Nintendo games that are right there on the furniture. They're all boxed. Those were more expensive than loose cartridges. And I just wanted to envision how awesome it would look like having those boxed games stacked up as like bookshelves on a bookcase like that. And there you go. And I'm like, I can't stop looking at it because I love it. But there goes my future, you know, for like getting out of the house and doing something more productive than just doing something stupid but fun, you know. But probably that's where I prefer to be. But still, I'm not really out. I want to travel someday. I want a classic car to travel around the U.S. and see a bunch of sites. But I have another goal along with that, you know. I want to take a Japanese girl with me to do a driving road trip together and show her places that she's never seen. And even me, you know, even me. That's what I want to do. That takes money. But I could have already had that amount of money to buy a classic car. But no, I choose this first. Because, I mean, probably games is more important to me. No. I want a Japanese girl that shares my passion, you know. But anyway, I lost track what I was doing. Oh, yeah. The games. And then the computers. And the consoles loose, you know. And then this Gobi lights, this speakers. I bought 2 or 3 computers. Seriously, I bought 3 computers. I had a black one, and then I wanted an Evangelion theme, and it was a huge one. It was so heavy. And I had problems. Okay, Jordan, good night. Thanks for tuning in. At least you got to learn the important stuff. So, good luck at work tomorrow. Night, buddy. So then I got another computer, and it's a smaller one, and it looks much better. And it runs better, too. No problems. And more furniture. Then I bought figures. Figures. I never thought I'd go there, because I didn't care about figures. Now I do. Now it looks so much better. And then I got a CRT TV. I got a frame. Got a picture. Got some more lights. Some more games. Some DVDs. And more... Oh my gosh. Like, it just doesn't end. So, like, I'm the one that's crazy than someone spending $80 on a digital game for the Switch 2. Alright. Good night. So, don't do what I do, and I just wouldn't get a Switch 2. But it's your money still. But the Switch 2 was something I wanted to talk about, and... Well, first of all, I never got the Switch 2, and I'm super glad I didn't. There's no reason to. My Switch 1's still good. And some games for the Switch 2 will be on the Switch 1, like Metroid Prime 4. And, well, the Donkey Kong Bonanza game looks pretty rad. But I like the idea of owning the games instead of having it being a fucking key card to download it. We gotta follow. Dragon King 782 from Kick. Look at that. The name's glowing green, just how I wanted it to be. Awesome. It works. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, okay, okay. Well, thank you so much for the follow there. How's life treating you? Welcome to my channel. This is Console Cretins. But I'm Johnny the Whiz Kid and we're just chatting. We just went over YouTube enforcing this new stupid policy of AI ID verification. And it should be everyone's concern. So, if you care about what you're allowed to see, then just make noise at YouTube. Tell them to don't do this. If you want to learn more about it, watch Chibi reviews talk about what this means and what it does and where it began. You know. So then we're talking about my content here, but I'm also talking about the Switch 2. So do you have a Switch 2? I don't, because not only is it too expensive, but you're not going to own it anymore. If you decide to do anything against their new policy, they're going to brick your console, and then all that money is wasted, and then your console is rendered useless. So that's the big reason I'm not buying it, because nobody should tell you what to do with what you bought. How I want to enjoy my consoles is my own fucking business. And Nintendo wants us to enjoy the Switch how they want you to? That's not how it works. If I want to tinker with it, that's my business. They want to cut it off and you can't get online because you did that? Nintendo, man. Nintendo was my favorite company. My favorite video game company since I was little. My first console was Super Nintendo. And Mario and everything that it gave us, I loved it all. Everything about Nintendo was awesome. And now, what are they doing? Exactly what Sony and Microsoft is doing since the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. Blessed Prime, thank you for the follow there. Welcome. Thank you for following my channel. What do you think? What do you think of my overlays? How are you guys? We're talking about the Switch 2. Do you have it? If not, is it the same reason why I don't have it? Because it's not only pricey, but because it's no longer yours to own, because Nintendo wants you to enjoy how they want you to enjoy it, and the games are no longer on the cartridges? No thank you. And I hope that changes. You know, complaining does work. Just keep crying about it and then see if they blink. This is funny, okay? This is so funny. How life goes, it goes through intimidation. You know, the strongest emotion is not love, it's fear. People use intimidation to get what they want, you know? They like feeling empowered and stuff. But then, whoever has the loudest probably wins in the end. I don't know. I'm trying to see how this goes together, I guess. Like all these years, a bunch of activists cry the loudest to get what they want, and then a bunch of companies comply with their senseless demands, and then cancel culture became a thing in their advantage, and then it made our lives a living hell. But when their strategy is used against them, well, now it's like a taste of your own medicine. So keep the pressure on Visa and MasterCard about, you know, pressuring Steam to take down adult games or anything that whatever the consumer wants. Because now they're yelling, they're being pressured. That's a good sign. Keep it up until they reverse the process. And now you have to pressure YouTube to not go along with this ridiculous idea of AI ID verification. And now Spotify is doing that. So do that to them too. And just in case, okay? Preparing for the worst case scenario, if you can't use YouTube, if you can't use Spotify, go to Rumble, go to Napster. Even if it's not perfect, it's better than nothing. So that's what I will do if I can't use YouTube. And now with Nintendo, I have something else to offer you if you guys are not satisfied with Nintendo and their Switch 2. Have you ever played Atari? Do you remember Atari? It was back in the 70s when they were born with the Atari 2600, and then they made their 8-bit family computers, the 8-bit and onwards. And then the video game crashed, Nintendo came, and then they restored the gaming industry. But then Atari tried to be relevant again, and then they could not find a good opening to be relevant as good. Well, they stopped their last console in 1996, and now they came back in 2020 with the Atari VCS. That name was the original name for their first console before it was called the 2600, and now the VCS is their latest modern console. Maybe you should give that a try. I say go check that out. About to get it started? Which one? The Atari VCS? You have an Atari VCS? So, yeah, I know the console's digital downloads. I know I would have preferred to own physical cartridges, but Atari was the first market to come out before Nintendo ever did. Nintendo may have existed before Atari, but Nintendo was first it was not a game company. It started with trading cards or something. And then some other services before they ever went to arcades and video games, you know. So Nintendo may have existed before Atari, but it wasn't the first video game company. It was Atari when they made Pong and then the 2600. Wow, really? Okay. Yeah, I have not used my VCS. Really, I've only been messing with it to check out some ant streams, and I didn't really like it that much. And then I went to the arcades cabinets and then just tried out some stuff. I liked Black Widow. It was pretty hard. I tried to play Mortal Kombat, but the controls were so delayed, and I just could not play it, you know. Oh, and check out the Mortal Kombat collection. Maybe I can stream off of that instead. The arcade version. Honestly, I said prefer the original releases. Like, I have the Super Nintendo versions. But yeah, to play the arcade original, I'll probably go get the collection, you know, whatever. I don't have any more room for games. I have more on the way. I just got an email notification. A game I pre-ordered is on its way. I don't have any more room. Oh my gosh. Oh, we got... Oh, man. Okay. Whenever it's that long message by somebody, it just means they want to sell you something. So ignore that. So, yeah, you want to get affiliated? Hire me and I'll help you. No. Besides, I already hired somebody to help me, so I'm good. 13 viewers. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Anyway, I want to talk about my content. So, I haven't streamed in 8 months, and I'm going to get back to it. And I've been saying I wanted to make videos. I made some updated videos on my channel. I guess you could call them blogs. I went to Japan. I've been to Japan 4 times now. And this time that I went there, and then I just talked about what was going on, and then I went to talk about what's going on in the future. Yeah, you can delete it. Delete what? Delete what? So, I said I wanted to make videos. I do. I may have to just hire somebody to help me. I just don't have that energy, and there's something wrong with me, okay? I'm probably losing quite a bit of motivation to make videos. The easiest thing for me to do is just stream, really. I just want to play games. And, but before I do that, I want to update my intro. I love it when I have an intro, so it can give people a sense of, okay, a new episode is coming, a new show. Here it is, the intro. I love the intros. Oh, the message got on kick. Oh! Well, it's not showing here on the stream chat, but, well, let me go to kick then, because, I don't have that open. Oh, okay. Got it. Okay. Gotcha. Thanks. Alright then. It's muted. Yeah, I don't want to unmute that, otherwise... Don't want to hurt your ears now, right? Custom Nesca. Hey! I remember you! How's it going? How are you? You're the guy that customized my NES. I still have it. Dark Force 9. What's up? It's good to see you all. I already feel like my channel's already growing. It's good to see all you familiar faces. And I got another follow! Who is it? Dark Force 9. Fantastic. What's up? Thank you for the follow. It's so cool that I got my alerts modified. So now, I didn't think it was possible, but someone was able to, when someone follows me from Kick, the name, their username gets highlighted in green. That's so awesome. And the same thing when you subscribe. And then if I get rated on Kick, a different alert plays. But I made some fonts highlight in green. I just love it how I have all this set up, and then I like to see what it looks like. It's so cool. Going good, thanks. Doing well. Let's see. So I'm saying I want to upgrade my intro. If you guys have followed me before last year and onward, I like having an intro play before I start up a stream. How old is that Domino's? It's not that old. It's a couple of years ago from when they were promoting Stranger Things. So I got it just because it's the same Domino's box that it used to be years ago. So, yeah, I know. Does it look clear when you when you're watching my stream full screen? Because I'm using my VHS camcorder to stream. That's my webcam. It's a VHS camcorder, so the quality is pretty shitty. But that's the point. You can't see clear the Atari neon sign there. It's all glowing. It's like obstructing the letters. That's how it looks when you're. That's how it looked like when it was VHS. But that's the point. What kind of games will we be playing on the channel, man? Retro. I will actually show you my collection if you want. So. When I make an intro, I'll just basically give you a sneak peek. Like I'm gonna show like shots of me getting my games out there. They're all in the containers. A bunch of games that I've been buying throughout the years, and yeah, I'm gonna be using like original hardware. So let me get you some right now. So hang tight, okay? I'll go right here then. So I'm grabbing a couple of NES games, and I'll grab one container out so I can surprise you all. So I grabbed this from one of the game stores in my town. So, which was the? Yeah, here we go. Tengen Gauntlet. Gauntlet's pretty popular. I feel like I did not want to own multiple versions of Gauntlet. I just wanted one was the best. But every version has a different feature, so it's really hard for me to just pick one and just stick with it. I don't know. But I think what I want to do is just show a bunch of different versions when I make a video and just compare and say, okay, this has this one has this, which one's better, and then yeah. So like this is what I want to do when I make a video, when I review some games. Now, first of all, I've been a fan of AVGN and a bunch of retro YouTubers like RetroWare TV. I mean, before we had streaming, they make videos at extended periods of time. So like from like 10 minutes to like 15 minutes and stuff, and then there's so much to talk about. But the way that they've been so creative in making these videos, they capture the game footage and they talk about it, and then they do a bunch of pros and cons and stuff. Like I wanted to do that, but it was just so much work, and I just don't feel like I'm built to do that, I don't know what's wrong with me. I feel like I'm just too lazy and too tired, and it's just too much work. It's just gonna demotivate me more, and I'm like, I don't want to do this now. I don't want to go that. I don't want to go in that direction. I don't want to feel like that. Ugh, another one. Okay, trash this too. Oh, but it's still there. I don't know what's going on. This guy that puts oh, Turbo Shepherds. Yeah, okay, yeah. I was wondering, is this another bot that's just putting a bunch of cats with hearts and stuff? No, that's just you. Okay, no problem. That's cool, that's cool. Anyway, so now I have to be practical and realistic. Everyone is wanting shorter videos, right? Well, despite me preferring longer videos, because I would like it when people just make time to watch these videos to extended lengths, you know, because they're just so engaging. I love that. But for me, I just have to come to terms and just go with what'll make things easier for me and my life. Just make them shorter, right? Yes, but also I need someone to make the videos for me, okay? I don't have the energy. I work full-time. I'm tired. It's hot. It drains my energy, and I just want to sleep and eat and play games, you know? And yeah, even though I work full-time, that's like 9 hours. I get up at 6:30. I drive to work. I start at 7:30 till 4:30. So first let's start up with 6:30. I gotta get up, get dressed and just leave. That's it, okay? So I leave around 7 o'clock. It takes me 30 minutes to get there. And then at 4:30, then I come home and at 5 o'clock. Okay, so it's already 10 hours. Then I gotta take a shower. Then I gotta eat if I want to eat then or later. So how many hours is that total? 11, right? Already like almost 3/4 of my day gone. So yeah, I may just have to hire someone. Sammy may edit my videos, or I may hire someone that gives me a better deal, or just, you know. So like if I want to review Gauntlet, I have one for the ColecoVision. And then there's this one, and I think there's one on the Atari Lynx. I gotta get that. I need to get the Atari Lynx, and then, you know, just do a comparison and review, and just, you know. But if I want to talk about all the Gauntlet games in the series, then yeah, I gotta put them all together, so that would take more time. So, I don't know, but like, if I want to make a short review and then just do one game at a time, there's this one YouTube channel that I like that makes their videos like 30 seconds or a minute, and then they give a grade. That's what I love when I see things and they talk about it, they give a grade. I want to see which way is best for me. So, like, if this, I've seen a bit of a gameplay footage of Gauntlet, and it seems simple enough. And then you got the ColecoVision. I think this one may be a little better because the frame rate difference. But overall, it's the same game, so it all depends what your taste is, what console you have. You don't want to get the NES, you have your ColecoVision, you're fine with this, then go with that. You know what I mean? So anyway, grading stuff, pointing stuff out, but talk about pros and cons, but, you know, probably keep it short and simple or stuff. But then I have all these scripts that I want to say, because there's just so much to say. I really don't know. So that's why I'm asking Sammy if he can suggest something. What does he recommend, you know? Or I'll just experiment. Does this way works? It looks really nice, but how long did that take versus which way is easier and faster? Because how many games is there to play? Dude, look at all this. And I have a lot in my closet. I have that behind me. I have this. I have that. And the Atari VCS. The Switch. Online stuff, you know. It just never ends. So, like here, I have Mega Man 2 right here. I have Mega Man 2, but I have Mega Man The Wily Wars. That has 4 Mega Man games in one, and it's 16-bit, like Super Mario All-Stars. I would prefer I play that, because there's something that does that this doesn't. But if you love the 8-bit graphics more, then by all means, more power to you. I may still collect Mega Man games, the cartridges, and like I love seeing the cover art, you know. The most infamous Mega Man 1 cover, the guy with the gun, like they didn't know what Mega Man really was, and like Japan was just starting to create their own stuff, and America was barely catching on to it, so they just came up with their own ideas, but it was like an infamous cover of the first Mega Man, okay. And like we're memeing off of it now. It's famous that way. But Mega Man 2 is probably considered the best Mega Man of the NES, right? Right? Anyway, I have Blaster Master. Yeah. You know, I don't think you can see it because it's pretty dark. let me turn on the light here. Which one is it? Here it is. Okay, it's back. It's not a bright light, but there you go. Now you can see. It's the old-fashioned light. Okay, can you see better? Yep, you can see much better. Do you remember how those old lights are? It's not LED lights? Is that how you say it? Let me make sure. LED lights. Yeah, the brighter lights are... Oh, what's brighter than the old light bulbs? Okay, it is LED lights, yeah. Well, now you can see better, but it's not LED, it's the older lights. Because, you know, LED lights is white. This one's like yellowish. I'm looking at it like, okay, my eyes are... Oh, I'm looking at the screen like I can still see a glare right there. Oh, jeez. Ugh. That's crazy. Okay, next I have, okay. Okay, first, Contra. Contra, the first Contra. But look on the back. Somebody wrote the cheat code. Do this to get, select something. Up, up, down, down, left, right, B, A, start. If 2 players hit select before start. I forgot what code that gives you. But, wow, somebody put that there. So, like, okay, you want to start off? You don't have to look online or on a book. Then it's right there. Metroid right here. Yeah, I'm a retro gamer here. Oh, Duck Hunt. I have the NES. I have the Zapper guns. I have the Zapper guns. And Double Dragon. Double Dragon. This is just a few. I picked these out because I wanted to tackle these next, you know? But, fuck, I have so much more than you would ever imagine. Okay. I'm going to get them out and show you. This is probably just one more I'll show you. Because I have quite a bit of... I don't know. We'll see. Look at this. I am a crazy collector throughout the years. What do you think I wouldn't have? You think I would not have TurboGrafx 16 games? Right here. I don't know if you can see this because it's in a sleeve. Soldier Blade. They're mostly all shooters. Space Harrier. Yeah, you can see it. No, put them downward so I can put them where they're supposed to go. What's this? New Adventure Island. Military Madness. Splatterhouse. I streamed this game one time, years ago. I got to the final boss and I died there. That's because I kept dying on that one stage that was really, really difficult. Okay, my favorite game is Mega Man 2. 30 lives. That's the code for 30 lives? Okay, okay. But yeah, these are TurboGrafx 16 games. I got Sidearms, another shooter. It's a horizontal shooter. Oh, this is a tough one. Ninja Spirit. But a very good game. R-Type. Ooh. Bong 3. A rare one. Dead Moon. Dead Moon. Devil's Crush. It's a pinball game. Dragon's Curse. I'm not sure what this is. I think it's like a Zelda clone. Maybe not. Bomberman 93. I love Bomberman. It's one of my all-time favorite mascots. Okay. We got Bong's Adventure. This should have been the launch title when they released their console. And then there's Bonk's Revenge, the sequel. That's number 2. Then there's Zonk. Then we have Bloody Wolf. These games look so interesting. Jackie Chan's Action Kung Fu. Arrow Masters. And Fantasy Zone. I think it was another arcade. So they all fit in this little thing. This was just made for me recently by OG Hugo. He has his own retro shop. Not a store, but he makes things. He does sell stuff too. Like, he does sell games. But he made me this thing, this case. It's pretty cool, neat, small, but holds 20 at least games. I'm gonna get one more container so I can show you what else I got. Okay, just a brief look, I guess. I don't have time to get all of them out because I need to make some videos and shots on my room so I can make the intro going. But here, this is one of the containers I got here. Oh man, it barely fit. Everything barely fits in here. It's the perfect size for Sega Master System games. Oh boy, dude, Okay, guys. Not just don't do what I do with spending recklessly, but don't do this. I just got a new credit card. I went full insane mode on my credit cards, okay? First of all, I did not intend to shop this much, okay? I made an order of a statue I wanted. It was like 2K. But I had this desire for this credit card that could give me a lot of cash back. So I learned about this PayPal MasterCard that gives you cash back 3% on PayPal transactions. And I use PayPal a lot to buy things. I even use that to hire freelancers. Jeez. That was a perfect card for me for that. And the credit limit was pretty high. And I got carried away. I really, really did. So, yeah, I did that. And then some online sites that don't accept PayPal, I got my first American Express card. That gives me 3% cash back on online retail purchase. It also includes 3% gas and groceries. And I also got a debit MasterCard of PayPal. 5% cash back on one choosing of whatever it has there. So I picked gasoline and it's 5% cash back there. So yeah, that's pretty... Oh, no. Restaurants. Yeah. I do like to eat out. I'm trying to cut down a bit just because I have to now pay everything back. Okay? Pay everything back. Okay, so anyway, I bought a lot of Master System games and now they all fit in this box. I got some that are not Sega Master System games. I'll show them to you right now. But anyway, I don't know these games, okay? I just looked up online. Without a cover of showing what it is, it's hard to tell. You can only know when you have the box, but I'm not doing that. So yeah, these are pretty expensive because Master System did not do as well in the U.S. compared to the NES, you know. But it's Sega's 8-bit system, in case none of you know that. But this is what the cover. Oh, this is what the cartridge looks like, you know. This is Enduro Racer. It's one of them. I won't show you them all, but like just whatever I can. Missile Defense 3D. I think you can. I think some games allow 3D glasses, like Rad Racer on the NES. I never did that in my life. Phantasy Star, the first one. Fantasy Zone 2. I didn't know there was a sequel, but does this go back because TurboGrafx is a 16-bit system. This is 8-bit. The famous Alex Kid in Wonderland. Or Miracle World, whatever. Alex Kidd, Lost Spirits, Golvalius or something. Psycho Fox. Crazy name, but apparently a good game. The Sega Master System does not have much to offer, but any good game I can't pass up. Like this one. Yeez. What kind of name is it? Yeez. I don't know. Yeez. Right? Okay, okay. Global Defense. Zillion to Triformation. Well, there are some Sonic games, but, you know, Sonic was introduced in the Genesis, so how could it take a step back? Well, that's the thing, though. It didn't until the Game Gear. So the Sonic games on the Game Gear got ported to the Master System. In case you don't have the Game Gear, you can at least play Sonic games on the Master System. So I did a comparison. Some games on the Game Gear I probably prefer over this. So I got one Sonic game, and I don't know if I'm going to get them all. I really don't want to, honestly. There's also a Mickey Mouse game that I probably just want to pick one of, because seriously, a majority of these are from the Game Gear games. So some games here are probably exclusive on the Master System, like this one, the first Shinobi game. So then I have here, it's on the floor, well, Shinobi 2, which is called Revenge of Shinobi. And then we got Shinobi 3. Where's the first one? Here it is. And not everybody owns the Master System, but it's there. Ghostbusters. It's the one with the overhead that you buy stuff and drive a car. The NES disappointed people, but the Master System seems to be an improvement, so I want to give that a try. And then Wonder Boy, see? But you get the idea. Now here, these games here that are not Master System games are 32X games. I have a 32X, but I'm waiting for something better. I am waiting for... Are we doing that again? Tired of streaming to 0? Let's change that. Shut up. Alright then. Are you guys aware or familiar with the Sega Neptune? A canceled console that never made it out. People have brought it out, so you can own a Sega Neptune. And what they did basically is combine the second model of the Genesis and the 32X together, and then somebody just made the shell case for the Neptune, and then you just put it in there, and then there you go. Or somebody just made the motherboard alone of the Neptune, so you don't have to get both of those. And then you just get the shell, and then there you go. I'm going to get that, and then I'll play some 32X games and some Genesis games. So this one I showed you was called Mother Base 2000. This one's called Tempo. I have no idea what this could be about. I think it's some generic platformer, but yeah, I'll check it out. Okay. Now, you got to understand also that I won't get every game that's so damn expensive. Crazy expensive. So I'll have to go and settle with some, I guess, you know, people's forbidden way is the big E, or emulation. I'm going with reproduction. Here I have The Amazing Spider-Man. This one is very pricey on its original retail price here. I got it on Etsy. I got two more. Here is... Well, this one never made it to the US, but now I can play it on mine. It's called Darkside. I'm very curious. It's some generic space game. Maybe it's good. We'll see. And I have here the RK True faithful port version of Golden Axe. This one actually looks like the arcade. I have the Genesis Golden Axe, but it just doesn't look all like the arcade, but still plays like the arcade. But this one's fully like the arcade. The only downside, though, one player only. It's a shame. They can't put 2 players there. I don't know if it has all those extra things. I guess like time attack or something. I don't know. But I'm going to give it a try. At least they did it with the 32X. You know, when it comes to success, it all depends on good leadership. So if you wanted a company to succeed, then just like what we're dealing with, these stupid corporations run by stupid people that just don't listen to their consumers. Nintendo now. I don't want them to fail. But these new leaders have to get their thumbs out of their asses and listen to their customers. So, Sega had a bad leader and made some bad decisions. And that cost them a lot of money and then probably their reputation. And that's why the Saturn didn't go far. The Dreamcast became irrelevant. And then when Sony and Microsoft came out, somebody had to go. And like with Atari, so did Sega. And they just could not... I don't know what that means. I don't know why they just could not continue to do with the Dreamcast and make more consoles. But I guess they just didn't have the money. I don't know. But sometimes that's fate when you can't really have a good direction. And you just don't have a good leader. Then, yeah, you're gonna screw your own company over. And that's just how it is. Ugh. This is a lot of freaking containers I have. It better not lean over and tilt and fall. Oh my gosh. I also have Atari games. Oh, speaking of Atari. Yeah, I got Game Boy games too. Not a lot. I gotta back off a bit on spending because I just spend quite a lot on all these games. And there's some other games here, you know. Here, Super Mario Land 1 and 2. Return of the Joker. And this is a reproduction, okay? But Kid Dracula. You know how much that is on eBay? You don't want to know. But not worth it. But anyway, speaking of Atari, did you get this? Atari 50th anniversary. I wonder if I should, maybe I shouldn't sell this because maybe I should play Atari games exclusively on the VCS. But I think I'll just keep this as a collection. It's got a steel book and a poster. Yeah, so I'm gonna keep it. Never mind. Okay, but I want to show you what else I got that it's not always just retail games, okay? Because a bunch of people still make games off of the old consoles. But I got here Shantae Risky Revolution from Limited Run. Well, okay, I used to buy from Limited Run and I stopped. I won't go into that story just because they did something that really bothered me. So instead of buying this from Limited Run, I bought it off an eBay person, so I don't give money to Limited Run. So yeah, it's a jacked up price, but at least it doesn't go to Limited Run. So other games that other independent companies or small teams make, I get these. It's not just collecting off of eBay. Here, I got another one. This is a game for the Genesis from I think it's called Stone Age Games or something. This one was, I don't think it was released in the US, but when the license was purchased and now it's finally been able to be made, now I took advantage of it and got it. So, Water Margin? So, on the back of this, it looks like a beat-em-up. Look at this. A brawler. Look how cool that looks. I love 16-bit consoles. I love 16-bit games. So when that popularity hit, I think a bunch of people making Switch games made a lot of indie games with this kind of style, but more like 8-bits. So I have another one here. This one's called The Messenger. This is pretty cool. I reckon it's like a Ninja Gaiden game. I have never played Ninja Gaiden. It was made by Sabotage. Look at this little logo on the bottom right here. I think it's that company that made this. Or you can see more on the back right here. These companies. I like this camcorder. It's actually clear, even though it's composite. But yeah, it's like a Ninja Gaiden game. Messenger. Nintendo didn't make this, but you can play it on your NES. That's what I'm looking for mostly. Okay, and now we also got new Atari games. Since Atari is relevant again, and they now brought back their 2600, 7800 consoles plus, that means they're going to be there. You can display them on your HDMI TV, HDTV with HDMI output. You know, you can now play this in high definition. So if you go to Atari Age or just Atari.com, and you can buy their Atari and all their games, and then just relive the past. Here I have Dark Chambers. I think this plays like Gauntlet. So this is probably like there's gonna be games that may be a rip-off or a copy of a already made game. You know, all games do that. There's just no way to do something different. But I don't care. Nobody cares anymore. Just make a good game. And yeah, this is like Gauntlet. Here's one screenshot of it. Play on these consoles, these controllers usable and stuff. This is awesome. And now Atari has just released... I want to show you guys something, okay? Now that I brought this up, I'm not going to buy it right away. But I just want to show you something so exciting, okay? Which one do we... Oh, okay. Do this. No, not that. Not that. Look at this. The Atari just made a Pac-Man edition Atari 2600.
Just like clockwork, we got our Atari Plus announcement for this fall and winter. And it answers a lot of questions for the future of the Atari Plus line of consoles, what they intend to do with their classic retro hardware and cartridges, and most importantly, what we have to look forward to from here on out. And for many of Atari's diehard fans, that is, the ones who purchased the 2600 Plus and then the 7800 Plus to help support their favorite company, this is going to be disappointing news. But for the casual fan, and for people who have overlooked the Plus line to this point, especially those who have a soft spot for our favorite yellow dot muncher, this could be the best announcement yet.
So whatever the news would be, good or bad, I'm just saying for me, I want this so bad. Just for prop, okay? I will probably use it once in a while, but just look at it. It's fucking yellow with Pac-Man on it. It's so gorgeous. And they have Pac-Man for the 7800. Now what this is like a double game. Like there's a switch on the back of the cartridge. You can play the original 2600 Pac-Man on your 7800 or play the new 7800 Pac-Man. The only new feature besides looking like the arcade version, there's a fast mode. Pac-Man is now faster. You can go and play the game at faster speed. That's pretty awesome. I think that increases the challenge a bit. I really want it. But also, just for me, this here is a bundle. 4 games including Pac-Man, but the cartridges are colored. So like you get where is it? I'm gonna look at this. Even has joysticks in different colors representing the ghosts. That is so cool. Look at this. Look at this. This is so neat. Just wow. Oh, the links. Yeah, I want the links. There you go. The Pac-Man edition. 45 years. That is awesome. I like Pac-Man a lot. Oh, jeez. Okay, how about we listen to a bit of this? Because now I'm curious. It's only 11 minutes long.
The best announcement yet. So let's talk about the new 2600 Plus, the games that have been announced alongside it, and what we, the diehard fans, have to look forward to with the Atari 2600 and 7800 moving into the future. It's crazy that we even get to talk about the Atari 2600 and 7800 like this. A few short years ago, this was a market relegated to the Atari Age forums almost exclusively. It was a niche of die-hard fans and programmers pushing some of the most ancient hardware to their limits. Now it's got some mainstream appeal and can be found via, well, an Amazon search. You can grab HD 2600 and now 7800 consoles and exclusive game cartridges to play alongside your favorite classics that were collecting dust in a closet up to this point. But a lot of people were curious what was coming up next for Atari and its Plus line of consoles. Originally, we got the 2600 Plus, a system modeled off of what is arguably Atari's most popular system. Then we had the 7800 Plus, which didn't add any functionality to the previous release, but it did shine a spotlight on one of Atari's most underutilized consoles. Many diehard fans were wondering, would we get a 5200 Plus next? How about a Jaguar Plus? Maybe a Lynx Plus that could be docked, similar to a Switch and Switch 2? There was a hum of excitement among Atari's most diehard fans, and we recently got our answer with the announcement of the Atari 2600 Plus Pac-Man Edition console, a yellow and black version of the original Plus with a fresh coat of paint, and one of the most famous characters from Atari's history gracing the front panel. Honestly, one of the most popular characters from video games history, period. So there will undoubtedly be some disappointment from the already entrenched fans of Atari and those who took the plunge previously. And this will tell us a lot about the future of the Plus line of consoles. The Plus line is the new line of plug-and-plays. It's the new line of flashbacks. We'll get a new iteration every year, along with a few new games, and it might have some updated firmware or some slightly updated functionality. But overall, it's going to be the same console, year after year, over and over again. And again, this will help with the casual market to adopt it. If the 2600 Plus didn't do it for you, well, then you have the 7800 Plus. And if neither of those caught your eye, then, well, if you're a Pac-Man fan, maybe this is a good introduction. It's a cool new Pac-Man version of the same thing we have that will help take casual fans to a simpler time. In the future, we could get a Centipede-based console, or maybe a special Robotron edition, or something to do with a copyright holder of other popular titles that they get the license for. Heck, let's get wild and imagine that Atari licensed Donkey Kong for a limited release of cartridges in a special console. It realistically won't happen, but hey, it's fun to dream. The point is that for those of you thinking and dreaming about the Jaguar Plus and other similar consoles, well, I think we got our answer. It's probably not going to happen. But that isn't necessarily a bad thing. Allow me to explain. Along with the announcement of the Pac-Man console, we also have a few new cartridges to look forward to. These being Galaga, Dig Dug, Xevious, and the pack-in with the previously mentioned Pac-Man Edition console, the Pac-Man Double Feature. Now the Double Feature includes the 2600 version of Pac-Man, and the souped-up, nearly arcade-perfect version developed by Robert DeCrescenzo for the Atari 7800. This version was previously available in his Pac-Man collections. We had all but given up on these games ever seeing a re-release because, well, Bandai Namco owns the rights. We had heard that Atari had previously tried to make a deal with Namco, but it had dissolved. and now it appears that they came back to the table and were able to work it out. And this might open up the door to many other re-releases and special edition releases from other licensed properties, especially if the sales numbers show this to be worthwhile. And if you bought the 2600 Plus or the 7800 Plus already, trust me, you'll want this endeavor to be successful. It could open up a whole new world of releases to the consoles. There are great homebrew that had to be abandoned when Atari purchased Atari Age. Some of the more popular being Popeye, Keystone Capers, Astro Blaster, Astro Fighter, Moon Cresta, and many more. Imagine that something could be worked out for those games and they could be given official releases for $35 on Amazon. And of course from Atari.com. Or maybe a license could be picked up for Toki, and the Fable ROM could be mass-produced and released. Lots of strings would have to be pulled for that to happen, but the point is that this could open up a whole new world for Atari and adopters of the Plus line of systems. Instead of prowling eBay for overpriced copies of Midnight Mutants and Alien Brigade, you could pick them up directly from Atari and, again, Amazon. All they need is Al Lewis's likeness, and Midnight Mutants could finally be widely known to retro collectors and curious shoppers. So, if you're watching this video, then one of the following two things is probably true. Either you're excited for the Pac-Man console and want to learn more, and if so, then fantastic. Welcome to the Plus line. It's a great place to start with getting back to Atari. Or, you're already an avid fan, and the Pac-Man console most likely isn't for you, but that's still okay too. We can support Atari by getting these great new releases. This version of Dig Dug is fantastic. It controls great and is a lot of fun. The 7800 version has kind of always been an overlooked gem. If you've never inflated an enemy until they pop like a balloon, well, then you're missing out. This version of Galaga is beloved by Atari 7800 fans. It's not exactly arcade perfect, but it's a ton of fun and very approachable. And Xevious was always fantastic on the console. Truly, a long, expansive shooter that looked pretty good for its time and plays well too. Make sure you either have a CX78 control pad or OG Hugo's gamepad from OG Hugo's Retro Mod Shop to get the most out of these games. And as I've already said, if these games do well, it could be the beginning of a lot of cool things we get moving forward. So yes, the Plus line of Atari's consoles is the new line of flashbacks. It's an ultra-safe line of retail items that seem to be making money for Atari. They don't have to put any R&D into them either. They don't have to do any new tooling. All they have to do is slap new paint on them and maybe a few new decals, along with a couple games, and they'll make profit from excited fans and people looking for inexpensive gifts for the gamers in their lives. And there's nothing wrong with that, because most collectors and Atari fans want these games to be re-released and noticed. So, what do they need to do then to keep all their fans happy? Well, we need to see a nice mix of cartridges. We want the previous homebrew to reach wider audiences. We want 2600 and 7800 software to become widely available, especially the hard-to-find stuff. And we want brand new stuff. A lot of this wave is re-released Namco Bandai stuff, and that's fine for this go-around. But for me personally, this next wave of releases really needs to impress to keep everybody happy. And it's going to be a tough line to walk for Atari. It's going to be very easy to disappoint and alienate some of their audience. If there isn't new 2600 carts, then a bulk of their hardcore audience might become upset. If there isn't some brand new stuff that's interesting, then the entrenched fans will feel ignored. And if there isn't some re-releases of desired hard-to-find software, then those looking to play the best for less will move on to the Evercade or other alternatives. It's a fine line to be sure, and I hope Atari proves that they can walk it, at least without hurting the feelings of too many of their fans. There's a lot more to cover when it comes to this wave of announcements, and what it means moving forward. And we'll cover it all here on the channel as we get closer to this wave of releases. I haven't reviewed Galaga yet, or Dig Dug for that matter, so I'll be sure to cover those so you can decide where to place your money if you're grabbing an Atari 2600 Plus Pac-Man edition. But while you wait for that, I want to hear what you all think about this announcement and the upcoming release. Are you excited? Are you disappointed? Do you agree that the Plus line is the new flashbacks for Atari? That is an ultra-safe product that we'll see year after year? Or do you think a Jaguar Plus or Lynx Plus is still possible one day? And if so, why? I want to hear about all of this and more in the comments down below. And be sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. We cover everything Atari on the channel, and we look forward to new products like this, do reviews for all systems and games, look back at the history of Atari, along with the companies and games that sprout up around it, and so much more. If that sounds like something you want to see, well, you know what to do. Until next time, guys, I've been the 7800 Pro Gamer, the man who eats pellets off the floor while running from ghosts on the weekends, and I'd like to thank you all for watching. And until next time, remember to stay classy, Atarians.
Oh, that was pretty cool. Whoops. What did I do? That was pretty cool. Yeah, I guess I would be more like just a fanatic that just will buy anything Atari or just Pac-Man in general. But yeah, you know, when I had the 7800, I didn't bother with the 2600 because it plays both 2600 and 7800. The only thing I couldn't do is have it RGB modded. It only goes as high as video, and that's fine with me, you know. I don't really need to go that high with RGB on everything. But with this new Atari stuff, I can now do HDMI if I want. It's just that it's a small console. I'd rather stick with the original bulky console. That's just me, okay? But once in a while, I'll switch back and forth on those other consoles. So I will get the Pac-Man edition, and it's just going to be sitting on my shelf somewhere. And sometimes I will pull it out and use it. I'll play the Pac-Man game on that. It's going to be awesome. But those other games that I showed you, the cartridges are colored. The Xenogears, or not Xenogears, whatever, that shooter game. It's I think it's a bluish color cartridge. And then Dig Dug was probably red. And then Galaga greenish, I think. And then Pac-Man yellow. But the problem with that Pac-Man on that bundle is that it's using the cover of the 2600. I want the new sticker. But then Atari made a limited edition gold palettes of these games, and then you get a random color of it. It's like a mystery box purchase. But I want it yellow. They have a choice of, like, it's a mystery, okay? So you either get the yellow, the red, the orange, blue, or pink, based on the ghost. So, yeah. I prefer the yellow one. So I think I may just, I don't know, switch the stickers. We'll see. But that is where we're at now. I'm excited for that. I'm not going to buy it right away. You can pre-order it. But I'm going to wait until October. Because I already spent too much now. Well, I've been live for 2 hours. It's already 10:40 here. I'm going to end it here. So I hope you guys enjoy my stream. No intro or anything. I'm just talking what's going on. Oh, one more thing I wanted to talk about, I guess. Playing with the idea either once a week or once a month. I would like to do once a week because, you know, you got to be consistent with your streaming. I always worry I don't have anything to talk about. I talked about a lot of things. I may run out the next day. Who knows? Podcast or just a chatting stream, you know? So I have a cool intro to show a segment of something. So we'll be talking about, like, what movies did I watch. I'm already tired now, so I may just retire for the night. We'll see. But I'm just playing with that idea. Once a week, probably do like a chatting stream. We'll go from there. We'll see. But that's going to be it tonight. So I hope you enjoyed the stream. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, for watching, and good to see familiar faces. Leave your comments and tell me what you think about the whole news of what YouTube's doing, Spotify, the Switch 2, this awesome Atari Pac-Man edition console. what games you have, what games you like, anything. This is all open conversation here. This is Console Cretins. We're all cretins. We're all console lovers and everything. I look forward to streaming again. I gotta start filming some stuff here for the intros, okay? So, thank you again for joining me, and I'll see you guys next time. I want to rate somebody. It's been a while since I've done that, alright? So, thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate it, and I'll see you next time. Hope you have a good night, and hope you enjoy your weekend. I'll see you next time.